Gotta keep the sweat going.
Dominick, you're clearly having some fun with your entrance today, coming in on crutches. Just tell us when you got the idea for that and kind of why you did that today.
Willy Wonka. Have you ever seen the entrance of Willy Wonka? That's what it reminded me of, and I was like, couldn't have been better. Couldn't have been better. Willy Wonka was the man. That's what I grew up watching it, and then he's coming out on the cane, he's dead serious, and then does a forward roll. I figured that was appropriate.
That's awesome. Is it kind of a message to people to keep things light? I mean, it's such a big moment. We've been building this moment for so long, and it's like you want to just keep things light.
I'm in the moment. I'm here right now. I'm not there yet. I'm there on Sunday. When I'm there on Sunday, you'll see a different me, you know? But right now, I'm in front of all you guys. I'm in front of the fans who showed. Like, I never expected to have this much support, I'll be honest. I think if you ever followed my career in the beginning, I never had this much support, ever. So I don't take it for granted. I take the people very much personally to my heart because I've not had that before. I've not had it for 4 years. To have all this support, I feel like I'm fighting for more than just myself. I'm fighting to make a lot of people happy. So I'm enjoying it.
What do you think changed it?
I think that people can relate to me because everybody's got struggles in their life. I think a lot of times when you visualize a champion, you visualize everything went right for them. And that's hard to relate with because 90% of the world is struggling every single day in this world we live in. Economy's rough, times are tough, it's hard to make a living, it's hard to survive. Life is not easy for anybody in this world. So when you see somebody who was a champion lose everything, hit the bottom, and have to fight to get back to the top, I think they can relate with that, and I think that that's made me one of them.
Now that you are back at the top, almost, what does it feel like? I mean, there's been so much talk, there's been so much hype in this, but now that that time's over, it's time to just be in the moment. What does this moment feel like?
It's kind of surreal, because for the past 3-4 years, I've dreamt about it, I've thought about it, I put it away and said, just keep the faith, and you'll be okay. I kept the faith and it worked out, like it brought me here, A lot of people would say that I might have been a fool for a lot of the things that I've done and said over these years, and some of the smartest people in the world were always considered fools first.
As the day's getting closer, how did your workout feel today?
Felt great. I mean, I'm cutting calories. I'm like real light today, so it's hard to, I don't think people that are watching or people at home, I want to explain to you how tough this is to do an open workout because we're literally at our bare minimums, all of us fighters today. We're at maximum dehydration. We weigh in tomorrow, so we're as close to weight as we can be so we don't have to cut too much tomorrow. So we're all dehydrated. None of us have eaten anything. I've had some fruit and some nuts in the last few days, and to try to do an open workout, keep a high energy level, and be here for the fans and not just for yourself. It takes a lot of will, so I hope everybody here can understand that every fighter that's here today is working very hard for you guys.
Speaking of the fans, how impressed have you been by the fan support in Boston?
Man, I mean, Boston's an awesome place. I came out here and did a media tour right before I came out here, obviously. And the fans, I don't know, again, very relatable. I guess I'm kind of a wise guy, so they fit right down my alley. Like, these guys, I joke with them, and they never took it personally one time. They always came right back at me with a nice insult, and I can cheers that anytime.
You've fought some of the best fighters in the world. Where does TJ rank in that mix?
TJ's up there. He's evolved. He's gotten better. I'm not going to say he's not a good fighter. I'm not going to say he's not a champion. I'm going to say that I'm in there to test myself against one of the best in the world, and I'm excited for the challenge. He's had to be me for a long time to prepare his teammates. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's said it. Now he doesn't want to admit it, obviously, because we're fighting, but he's said it before. Everybody's seen it in his style as it's progressed. But I'll be honest, I did a lot of things in this sport. You gotta look at what some of the best people are doing, and you gotta take from them if you want to be the best. And it's been an honor for me to be able to add something to the sport of mixed martial arts, and I know that I've done that, and that's one thing I can write in the history books for the rest of my life.
You talk about the fans kind of embracing you now, and along those same lines, you've made a conscious effort to sell this fight and kind of mock TJ for not doing the same thing, and the fact that he has to talk at some point. I guess what kind of got into your head that you said, you know what, this is part of it, I'm going to do it, and everybody else has to do it too?
You basically nailed it right there by saying it. This is part of it. Fighters don't want to admit it. They want to say, I need to stay humble, I need to play the nice guy, and that's you giving what you think people want to see, and that's you not wanting to put yourself out there on the line. you gotta just let yourself flow and not care so much what other people think, because I'll be honest, no matter how this fight goes, I won't take back one word that I've said this entire time. I believe in myself 100%. I have full confidence in myself, and no matter what the outcome, which I plan to win, I'm happy with the entire time I've had here. I'm happy with the entire build-up that I've had, and I wouldn't change it for 1 second. I believe every single word that I've said to this point.
With all that you've been through your last 4 years and fighting your way back, and then even having a setback after you made it all the way back, what would it mean to put that belt on again on Sunday night?
There's no words to describe what it's going to mean. I can't even tell you right now, because when I get there is what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for those feelings. I'm aiming for that. I think collectively, I'll be taking everybody's energy when I strap that belt around my waist, and everybody can share that belt with me, and I think I'll really be feeling that, so I don't know how that's going to feel on that night.
Oh, I guess the last thing is, there's a lot of stories done before your last fight about how frustrating that time was and the time away, and then you do come back, have such a great performance, and then you get hurt again. What was that period like, and I guess what was the stage like after you learned it and you found out, like, oh man,
the hard part about it was just it's frustrating, because you're like, man, I already did it. What do you want from me, good Lord above? Like, what else do you want me to do? And I just had to keep the faith, stay positive. I'll be honest, going through 2 ACL reconstructions and then a quad tear taught me a lot on how to deal with injuries and how to let go of control. Right away, I took a couple days to be pissed off and sad, took a little vacation to learn how to enjoy my life again without fighting, and then I started the rehab, and I just put my head down and got the work in, and look, here I am.
What's kept you going?
I like the challenge. It's such a challenging thing. This whole experience is a challenge. It's literally, I don't think anybody can equate to how big of a challenge it is that I'm facing, and that I've faced over these years, so I appreciate that. That's something that can evolve you as a person. I'm in this life to grow and get better. I mean that with every word of me. So what's the best way to do it other than to challenge yourself to the fullest extent? This situation right here will do that.
Dom, as an analyst, you have to think about things like cage rust. What is your stance on that? Because you've had to deal with it more than anybody else probably in the history of this sport.
I've said it before that I don't believe in the rust thing, because as long as you prepare your body and challenge yourself in practice, there shouldn't be rust there, How I show up on Sunday night is me. It's not a rusty me. It's not it's not anything except me. So I showed that in my last fight. Yeah, it was 3 years off, but I'd never done that in the WEC or UFC title fights, 3-round fights ever. And that was that guy was on Mizugaki was on a 5-guy win streak. My brain's losing it. And he was ranked top 5. I'm not facing top 10 guys. I'm not facing top 15 guys. I faced a top 5 guy that had 5 wins in a row. He believed in himself. He has one of the toughest chins in the division. Nobody knocks that guy out. And I did it. And I did it quickly. Now, I landed a good punch on the ground. I mixed things up well with them. The idea is rust doesn't exist as long as you put your work in and get yourself to maximum competition level and test yourself. I've tested myself with guys at Alliance MMA. The people that I've faced don't hit it. Not very many people hit as hard as Jeremy Stevens. Not very many people move as fast as Demetrius Johnson. Not very many people wrestle as good as Joseph Benavidez and move as quick as Joseph Benavidez. The people that I've faced have built me into what I am. I haven't just walked here and said this is what I am. I've been built into this through the UFC, through the WC, through 21 fights, so that gives me confidence.
One last question.
Dominic, I'm just wondering if you've seen the reaction from fans and media, about your interviews lately, what you're saying, and it's almost like you're just being yourself and telling the truth, yet it's almost been this revelation. Dominick Cruz is the smartest guy, he's giving the best interviews. Do you see that, and does that almost surprise you that more people don't just be themselves and say what's really on their mind?
It's a good question, Ariel, because I gotta be honest, I was guilty of it, and that's why I can point things out in TJ. There's a famous quote that I use to myself all the time. If you spot it, you've got it. I spot it in TJ because I used to have that. I didn't want to let myself out. The cameras are a vicious thing. You guys are on the other side. But when you're forced to speak in front of them and say what you believe and what you think, that puts you on the line, nobody else. And guess what? Every single one of you has an opinion. Every single one of you. And you either have to deal with that and deal with the words that you say, or you can just say, it can't matter. I have to be me. I can't change who I am, and I'm going to be judged no matter what I say. Some guys have figured that out. Right off the bat, Conor McGregor did what he did because right off the bat, he never took a second to care what anybody said about him. He just did it. You know, and the truth is that's what this is about. We got to say what we're going to say. We got to do what we're going to do. And now that I had all that time on Fox, being an analyst, being in front of the cameras, time away to look at the sport from an outside perspective without my emotions involved, it allowed me to see that I just needed to relax. I needed to relax in front of you guys. This is me. This has always been me. People that are seeing me now are just meeting me now because I can be comfortable where I'm at now. Before, this was me. Freaking out in front of you guys. Didn't know what to say, didn't know how to do it, but practice, man. Practice makes perfect. Repetition. That's what fighting is too. People look at fighters and say, how are they doing that so quick? How are they doing it so good? Man, thousands, tens of thousands of repetitions is how. I've had that many repetitions right in front of you guys now as I've been out. Wouldn't have been my preference in the beginning. I would have rather been getting the repetitions in the cage, but it is what it is. I dealt with the cards that I had, and now here I am.